Okay team, so this week the video is for competitive athletes, people who are trying to reach that next level in the sport and potentially are falling short of comparing themselves to other people and as a result having to rush to catch up. And it's a mindset piece about the law of diminishing returns and how that's useful for us as a mindset piece to keep our motivation high. The law of diminishing returns is a concept that I think I learned in GCSE PE or maybe A-level PE years ago. And it basically states that the rate at which you improve on anything, could be CrossFit, could be reading, could be singing, could be bench press, whatever, the rate at which you improve slows down as you get more advanced. So at the bottom, you have this beginner period, and people sometimes call this beginner gains. And this is where you see those rapid jumps in improvement and growth. And we've probably seen those in the gym. You know, people who come in and they go from cleaning 40 kilos to cleaning 100 kilos in, 3 years or a 2-year period. Then you get that intermediate growth period where things start to slow down and taper off, okay? And then the final piece is the advanced period. And this is where things really start to slow down. You get to sort of where I'm at, maybe 8 years, 10 years in the sport, and the progress is a real slow rate. You're no longer making 10 or 15 kilo jumps. You may be making 1 or 2 kilo jumps, or even at certain points, you're just trying to maintain. So how can we use the law of diminishing returns to help our mindset? If you're comparing yourself to athletes at the higher levels, okay, you might get carried away in thinking that you're never going to achieve the level that they're at. I'm not saying that everyone can make it world class. I'm not saying everyone can be a games athlete, but whatever level you're aspiring to be, whether that's top 200 in the UK, top 50 in the UK, maybe that's make it to semi-finals, maybe that's get to the World Cup or the CrossFit Games, whatever level you're at, whatever level you're aspiring to be, recognise that those people are probably somewhere along the intermediate and the advanced level of training. So they're starting to slow down, okay? And everyone eventually will hit some sort of ceiling where they're potentially not progressing year on year. And we've seen that when you look at the CrossFit Games athletes. So years ago at the CrossFit Games, the top level athletes were lifting somewhere around the 125 kilo mark for a snatch. And now they're lifting maybe 130 to 135, like the top guys are. You obviously have the outliers who, might lift 150, 160, but majority of people are in and around that 130, 135 mark. And so they've started to taper out, or they're at the top of that improvement curve. And so you've only got to put in enough work to catch them in order to make it to the level where you're trying to achieve. And so I've potentially fallen short in the past, mindset-wise, of thinking these guys are so far out in front of me that I'm never going to catch them up. Jack's 25 years old and he's snatching 130. I'll never make it to that level, sort of thing. And that's not serving us in terms of a mindset, and that's not helping us. What I instead need to do is realise that I'm only shooting for around that same mark. So it doesn't matter if it takes me slightly longer to get there. Jack's not going to continue to grow on that snatch over and over year on year, how he has done before in the past, potentially. He's going to level out around that 135 mark, 130 mark, and all I've got to do is get closer and closer to that. Likewise, if you're at a lower level and you're potentially looking at people winning Rain Hills competition or coming top 10%, or maybe even in the gym as members, you're looking at someone who wins workouts all the time on a daily basis, you've got to recognise that those individuals are starting to taper out towards the top of the line, and that all you've got to do is put the work in to get near your ceiling to catch them. And if you do that, use this law of diminishing returns concept to your advantage, you'll realise that enough time spent, enough practice, enough effort, enough work will get you to where you want to be. Like I said, that's not to say that everyone has the ability to make it to the CrossFit Games. We don't, but everyone has the ability to reach their ceiling and whatever level they're shooting for, which they're capable of.
Open